In the previous part we saw that Lee Young was drawing the attention of the sage by swinging Queen Yvain's handkerchief. His plan worked since the sage was shocked when he saw it. He recognizes it because of the symbol and the color, so he knows it's definitely the handkerchief of Queen Yvain. Lee Young notices that he fell for it. He decides to do some extreme actions with it. He wipes some dirt with the handkerchief off a sculpture he just sold. The sage gets mad that he does this with a precious object. Lee Young then acts like he's going to give the handkerchief away. The sage tells him to stop it right there. Lee Young then laughs, since he knows that his plan worked. The people around Lee Young are surprised that Sage Rodriguez actually reacted to this. Back to the basic training facility, where someone is trying to steal the food of the instructor. He immediately reacts to this and grabs his sword. He wants to cut down the thief, but he sees that it is Lee Young who wanted to steal his food. Lee Young then greets the instructor, and the instructor is happy to see him. Lee Young almost died for looking for leftovers. The instructor asks Lee Young how it went with Sage Rodriguez. Lee Young then tells that he was able to meet him. He asked Sage Rodriguez which class was best for him. He tells him that he should kill the monsters of the Lizard Monster Cave. If he keeps killing them, he will find the right class for him. He thinks that Lee Young is stupid for putting this much effort in something so small. He could have easily just looked into the class center. The instructor laughs and says that it was exactly an answer for Sage Rodriguez. The instructor states that the extermination of the Lizard Monster Cave is tomorrow, and he invites him to his house. He wants to level up and kill monsters with his party, so he tells him that he has no time. He already received a quest from the instructor, so he thinks that it's useless to build a bond with him. But the instructor tells him that he has a big barbecue planned. Lee Young then realizes that if he eats at the instructor's house that he will profit. He accepts his offer and says that he will come to his house later. A few hours later, the instructor leads Lee Young to his house. He holds his hand while doing it. They arrive at his house and Lee Young walks in. He looks around and figures that this is a good place to live for the instructor, and he should also get a house like this. As the instructor gets home, he greets his wife. Lee Young wonders why he wants to introduce his wife so badly. He then sees a girl and thinks that she's really pretty. She looks back at him but is not really interested. He recognizes her face and wonders where he has seen her before. He does not realize that he imagined her when he was at the hospital. He sees that her name is Red, which means that she killed players. The name of a player in Royal Road usually does not get shown, but they get a murderer's mark if they kill a player. Lee Young wonders why a murderer is here, and he grabs his sword, but the instructor is stopping him. He asks him what is going on. The instructor then tells him that this was the reason why he was grabbing his hands, in case he was planning an attack on the girl. Lee Young then thinks that he has been set up and that the instructor wants to kill him. He tells the instructor that he never knew that he wanted to kill him so bad, but that wasn't even the plan of the instructor. He laughs as he messes with Lee Young. Lee Young tells him that he's a grown-up and that he should stop messing around. The personal information of the instructor is then given, and it states that he once was a royal knight, but now he is only interested in training others, since he believes that a sword is the greatest weapon. But Lee Young realizes that he has a really high level, and that if he wanted to kill him that he could have done it long ago. He tells him that he invited someone else to the dinner as well. He's going to introduce him to her. Lee Young does not want to get close since he doesn't trust her. The instructor tells the girl that a lot of people came to the basic training facility because of him. He tells Lee Young that the girl also finished the training and that she comes over to eat once a month. Lee Young then introduces himself as Weed, but the girl is not even replying. He thinks that she is really rude for ignoring him, but he's still just going to act normal to her, since she might has a reason to ignore him. But the instructor tells Lee Young that she is just shy, and he apologizes for her, and Lee Young laughs it off, but he feels really awkward. He thinks that she's not acknowledging a new player like him. He does not even want to know her. He then thinks that she won't talk to him because of his low level, but she's not only like this to him, she doesn't trust anyone, so that's the reason why she doesn't talk to him. But he thought that only Lee Young was able to get close to her, so he invited the two of them on purpose. Lee Young then laughs it off, but then thinks that if she trusted others that she wouldn't be a murderer. Lee Young then tells the instructor that he doesn't want to wait for the food, so he's going to help them cook. The instructor then asks him if he knows how to cook. Lee Young says that he has some experience in cooking, but then someone walks in. He sees the person and then gets very scared. He thinks that it is a monster. He offends her, but it's actually the wife of the instructor. He is surprised that she is a human. He asks Lee Young if she isn't beautiful. He tells Lee Young that if he tries to hit on her that he won't forgive him. He's getting sick by even looking at them. His wife is flattered by the words of the instructor. They then go outside to cook and make the dinner table ready. The wife then compliments him him on his handwork and is surprised how he's preparing things for the dinner. He used to cook a lot since he had to take care of his family. He used to solve everything by himself when he was young. He then achieved a skill that he learned cooking, and a blue box pops up. Because of his real life experience, it automatically registers itself. He can now use this skill anywhere else, so he won't have to worry about food anymore. He then packs his bag and leaves the house. He received the bow and wants to learn how to use it. He puts all the stuff on the table and wonders how it could be used to take down enemies. The instructor learned him the basics to use a bow in the past. He now wants to train to use it effectively in a fight. He bought this with 20 silver coins and he also traded a sculpture for it. He tries to stand in a pose that he remembers and tries to shoot it. He then hears the door open from the instructor's house. He then sees the girl who he thought was a murderer. She has her sword out and she's walking towards him. It looked like she's going to attack Li Young. He tells her that it was a mistake to offend her and he tries to run away. He realizes that if he gets killed, a lot of money and experience will be gone. He then has no chance anymore to make real money off this game. The girl then slowly walks over to Li Young, which gives him time to grab his sword. He tells her that he cannot die like this, and if she's still planning on attacking him, he has to fight back, but she isn't listening. He explains that other players kill people to take all their items and money. This will be a huge setback for him, but he realizes that he only made 2 silver coins and 37 copper coins. But even then, all his training stats will be gone, so he chooses to attack her. It seems like he rushes forward to cut her with his blade, but he stops right in front of her, and she does not know what is going on. He then offers her a sculpture, and he hopes that he won't be killed if he gives her that, but she does not even reply. He asks her to let him off this time, but she still does not reply. He thinks that she wants more sculptures or money to let him alone. This will be too expensive for him, but he then offers her 2 sculptures to not kill him, but he obviously got it all wrong. She didn't even want to attack him. He thinks that she's not satisfied with his offer, but she just walks away without getting anything. Li Young is very happy that he made it out alive, even though there wasn't any threat. The next morning, he wakes up. He slept in front of the instructor's house, so the instructor asks him the reason why he was waiting. Li Young then tells him that he wanted to greet him before leaving, since he's not going to come back anymore. He wanted to say goodbye. Li Young thought that if he didn't greet the instructor before he left, that this could affect the quest, but Li Young tells him that it's not needed to wake her up since he's going to leave already. The instructor tells him to be safe on his journey. He then hears the girl's name, but he does not give it any attention. But he doesn't give it any attention since he thinks he won't meet her again. He is heading to the place where the knights are gathering to enter the monster-littered cave. He then meets the commander of the knights. It's a friend from the instructor. His name is Commander Maibal. He tells Li Young that he needs a horse, but he didn't know that he needed one, and he also doesn't know how to ride it. The commander tells him that he will be late if he walks to there, and it will take 3 hours with a horse to get there. He then gets a temporary horse from the commander, but the horse is quite troublesome. He thinks that the horse looks very cheap, but he doesn't care since it's free. The horse then turns around and Li Young thinks that he can sit on him, but the horse then kicks him. After traveling a while, they are finally at their destination. The littered monster cave is right in front of them. They have to get their horses ready for combat. After they get information, they will head into the cave. The commander then asks Li Young to come to him. He tells him that he doesn't have the equipment to fight on the front lines, so he needs to stand back a little. He tells him that he understands, but he did this on purpose. He levels up as the other knights kill the monsters by being idle, so he's going to relax while leveling up. They are now going to enter the littered monster cave, and Li Young is one of the last ones to go in. While everyone is trying to work hard, he's the only one who has this mindset. As they enter, a lot of monsters appear. The knights are information, but some of them are already scared. Li Young realizes that they are inexperienced knights since they are so afraid. He wonders why the commander is sitting still, even though many knights don't have the courage to fight. A lot of them are getting slaughtered as well, so he thinks that the commander does not care about their lives. The commander then tells them to switch their formation. He realizes that this was an exercise to build the teamwork. The weaker ones has to pick up all the loot. Li Young realizes that he needs to step in. He does not want to see any more people die. Li Young has already prepared for this moment. Since the monsters are distracted, he's going to attack them a different way than usual. The knights are fighting back hard, but the beasts are more powerful. Since weed is present, his level goes up since a lot of beasts are getting killed. He also finishes off beasts that were almost killed by the knights. His kill stealing method seems to be really effective, but the knights notice what he is doing. They tell him that he is fighting like he is cheating, but he doesn't want to be on their bad side. He doesn't want them to think that he only does the easy tasks, but he already has a plan to turn that around if they see him like that. The knights decided to take a rest. The new knights have to do all the work. They lit the fire and prepared the ingredients for food. Weed then offers to help them, and they really appreciate his effort. It's a win-win situation since he can upgrade his skill of cooking with the free ingredients of the knights. He activated his skill and cooks insanely fast. The meal's finished then he gathers the soldiers to eat. They are surprised by his good cooking skills. They never thought that they could eat this kind of food outside of the castle. His cooking skills and handcraft skills rose. The commander then asks him if he made the food, but he's looking at Weed like he did something wrong. But he asks Li Young if he could get another bowl. He then gets the request to cook for them in more exterminations. He accepts this job because the soldiers will like them because of this, and he can continue kill stealing without the soldiers complaining. He then offers the knights to repair all the broken swords and shields. He also wraps bandages on wounded soldiers. He hopes that they will like him more because of this. Because of the many items he's repairing, he can identify more items. The soldiers are now happy that he is in the team, and he figures that they won't complain anymore about how he hunts. Even though they are killing many monsters, the monsters remaining to kill is still 100 since the beginning. The cave will only be exterminated if this reduces to 0. He figures that killing kobolds isn't the answer, so he's going to try to kill other monsters. Sage Rodri has told him that this would be an easy quest, but that is certainly not the case to him. They are now back at fighting kobolds. One of the knights is so scared that he cannot move. The goblins are much stronger than the kobolds, but he didn't think the knights would be unable to fight them. There will be a lot of casualties if this goes on, so he decides to step in and change the attitude by himself. He tries to attack one of the goblins, but the goblin deflects his attack. Li Young managed to dodge it, but more monsters are attacking him at the same time. He tries to deflect the attack and the soldiers are scared that he will die. He tells the soldiers that the guys are weaker than they look, so they don't need to be scared. They think that if Weed is able to deflect their attacks, that they should be able to do it as well. He tells them that they are in greater numbers and they need to trust their friends to fight. Their morale is really being boosted by this reminder, so the whole army is charging towards the monsters. Weed is returning to the back lines again, and he starts to hunt like he usually does, by attacking weakened monsters from a distance. He reminds the soldiers that they shouldn't fight chaotically. He reminds them to use their shields, since goblins don't have a defensive stance. They raise their shields and come to their formations. He's happy that they are following his orders since they have a bigger chance of winning now. He coaches the knights if they are holding their shield wrong. He tells the back line to attack with their long spears. He then shoots an arrow at a certain goblin. He thinks that that one might be their boss. As he fires his arrow, it blasts through all the goblins, and he hits the goblin boss right in the head. It falls to the ground, and the other goblins are looking at him. Weed then leveled up again and gained leadership. The quest is immediately over since the goblin boss was killed. The knights are all praising Weed and admit that they were actually scared of nothing. They are surprised that he was able to identify their boss. The commander is really silent since Weed is taking over his job. He thinks that he might have acted like a leader unnecessarily. He thinks that he only gained their trust, so he did nothing wrong. The commander then tells him to come to him, but he does not know where for.